Hither my fellow gamers, and this is Shadow bringing you part 2 of the Dark Elves full army roster breakdown and review, where I'm going to be in this episode going through all the lords and all the heroes. So let's get straight into it with the Dreadlord sword and crossbow. Let's get rid of, as we do, all of its abilities, all its items, make sure it's all... So a basic, he's worth 1,000 points. He is a hybrid weaponed infantry of armoured and armour-piercing missiles, which is very nice, I'm not going to lie. He's got missile resistance of 15%, he's got courage, and he's also got murderous prowess, which, as we all know, is the whole faction gets it, where... Is it believed when they kill so many... You know, there's no exceeding the murderous prowess value, leadership is broken. Okay, yeah, so they get plus 15 leadership, plus 25% melee attack, 25% charge bonus, 20% armor piercing missile damage, and 30% vigor. Now, I did actually know what murderous prowess did, so it's good to see that there. I have to ask one thing though. Murderous prowess, like, yeah, we really want to kill them, so now our boats pierce better. How does that change anything? Anyway, yeah, so he's got armor piercing. You can see all the stats there, of course, for your viewing. So let's go over what mounts he can have. So he can either have the Dark Steed for 100 gold, a Cold One for 300. I'm not going to say the joke, we're not going to go down that road. A Dark Pegasus for 500, or a Black Dragon for 1,200. Now, I'll go admit, if he's got a crossbow, pin him on a Dark Pegasus would be a good idea, because he could go around buffing leadership and encouraging while shooting down in, you know, prime targets like enemy characters and things like that. So I could see that being really good combo. Abilities, he's got Loose, which is a constant that affects allies and himself within 40 minutes and ups the reload speed. So very much like the Princess from the High Elves, pretty much, and this is the equivalent. Buffs the range guys, and that's for 78 gold. For 80, you can have the good old Foe Seeker. And for 159, you can have Volley of Dark Arrows. It's a magic missile attack, causes an armor-piercing damage, effective at long range, good penetration. So again, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the same as the Princess, including all of the costs in that. Again, imagine that on a Pegasus, that would be devastating. The items you can pick is the Guiding Eye, which affects himself and allies for 40 meters. I keep saying minutes for some reason. And it's only 78 gold, so that's not bad. It adds armor piercing missile damage up to 20. So as I said, with the Princess, this one, he sits and you have all your repeater crossbows. He then drops all his buffs, and obviously his buff that he always gives them, and they could devastate, I reckon, entire regiments. You know, you could have a whole block of infantry charging. If they all focus hard on them, with all the armor piercing buffs and all the reload speed and things like that, would be very bad. Especially if they got murderous prowess as well. They would just destroy everything. The Pearl of Infinite Bleakness. Oh, that sounds nice. So for 252, himself and allies with 4 years become immune to psychology. That's a big deal. If you're dealing with, say, undead or terror monsters or things like that, being able to go, no, you're going to stand your ground for 28 seconds. Boom. That can make a big difference. And what was the other one? The other one's only 18 seconds, actually. Obviously, you could keep doing it, but every 45 seconds, but 18 seconds, but it could be enough to change the game. So, yeah, that is the Dreadlord of the sword and crossbow. Let's get the Dreadlord for the sword and shield. So, obviously, this guy is armoured and shielded and melee expert. This is the guy who gets in there and chops people up, obviously. So, missile resistance 15%, encourage, can hide, murderous prowess. That's because I haven't turned these off. I apologise. There we go. So, that's his basic for 1,000 points again. He can have a Dark Steed for 100, it's the same as before, Code 1 300, Pegasus for 500, Black Dragon for 1,200. His abilities though, he can have Strength through Spite, which affects him and allies within 30 meters. It's constant. It's only 81 gold as well, but it adds 5 to melee attack. Okay, that is good. Yeah, so the whole time you and anyone around you would get extra melee attack, so he would be brilliant at the front lines. Of course, you got Foe Seeker for 80 gold and Deadly Onslaught for 158. So I'm really impressed by that one. Strength through Spite. Items, they can have the Shield of Garond, which is a constant again, affects him and enemies in range of 40 meters, lowers their weapon damage by 12%. Wow, so you could have the buff to get your guys stronger and then do it that their weapon damage goes down. And the Hydra Blade. Now this is a argument which only lasts 30 seconds on himself, and you can only do it every 135 seconds. It costs 244, that's quite a bit. But it raises armor piercing damage and the weapon damage by 40%. That's quite good. I suspect that'd be like if you're fighting an enemy character perhaps, and you just want to quickly kill him, you use it then and just bash down on him. With the other buffs that he's got could make a difference. So that is the Dreadlord Sword and Shield. Now, Monolith. She's a lovely one, this one. She's absolutely fantastic. Classic character in the Warhammer universe. Let's get everything gone. Is everything gone? Good. So, as you can see, magic resistance 15%, even though she's practically naked. Magic resistance 25%. Again, that's because she can dispel, encourage, hide, and murderous prowess. She's a spellcaster with armor piercing and anti-large. Why is she anti-large? I guess she knows spells that can just punch him in the face. That's what we're gonna go with. So, she can get her Pegasus self-threat. Is 400 gold to get her, and I think that would be worth it. The mobility to be able to get out of danger. It does mean that she could be easier to snipe, but you know, you just fly out of trouble, don't you? Ability, she's got quite a few. She's got the life leeching, so improved power recharge rate, which is constant. She's got the spiteful conjunction, so again affects enemies in range, and it's map wide. Active when casting, lowers their armor by 15 points. Hang on, so that when she casts spells, it affects everyone on the map, lowering their armor by 15. That's insane. Because if you decide to do spell, that's quite a few seconds it's going for. And with minus 15 hours, big deal. I haven't been reading the points either. Sorry, 70 gold for that one, 80 gold for that. The Greater Arcane Conduct for 242. Enchanting Beauty for 260. It's a constant and affects enemies within 40 meters, and it lowers their melee attack by 9 and their charge bonus by 8%. Quite costly, you know. I don't know if that'll be hugely worth it, because it only affects people. I mean, she would have to be really at the front. But I guess if she's on the Pegasus, I guess you could do it. If she's on the Pegasus and she was just above the front line of the main engagement, that would affect everyone within 40 meters of her, and so you could start pushing back because it lowers their melee attack. That's what I'm thinking. And of 158 for the Deadly Onslaught ability. Now spells, we're going to go through on the spell thing because she's got her own list. So from the Law of Dark Magic, she's got the Power of Darkness, which is the one that you can take some damage to greatly improve your power reserve and recharge rate. Then she's got the Law of Death. She has So Blight, which lowers that armor and weapon damage. From the Law of Shadows, she has the Morkov's Mystifying Charisma, which lowers speed. Not sure if that's a big deal, but then you got the Pit of Shades from the Law of Shadows, which is obviously that big deadly death ball as it appears. Yeah, that one. Very nice. She's also got Law of Death, Doom and Darkness, which just pretty much breaks your leadership, which, yeah, I could believe her doing that. And from the Law of Dark Magic, she has Soul Stealer, which is the one where you steal hit points from the enemy with a really weird animation. I mean, apparently that's what your soul looks like. Fair enough. So that's the spells she can have. So for the Doom and Darkness, it's 158, but that's the leadership one. For So Blight, that's 164 to lower their weapon and armor. So remember, let's not forget her ability of... Where was it? There you go. Minus 15 armor. For 18 seconds. So every time she casts, there's 18 seconds of minus 15 armor. Mixed with that, they're losing 45 armor for nearly 20 seconds. Because you've seen this one's 24 seconds. And weapon. So if you did the So Blight, and she was stood above them, and she was doing the casting of it, their armor would just disappear. It would just go. Malakov's Mystifying Charisma for 78. The Pit of Sage for 236. The Power of Darkness for 82. And the Soul Stealer for 234. Now she's got an item. She's got the Heartrender and the Dark Sword. which is a constant. It affects the enemy in range of 40 minutes. It's only active in melee though. If she's in melee combat, it then activates, and everyone within 40 meters, enemy-wise, loses melee defense and attack by 9. So this is an absolutely amazing. And I didn't point out she's only 800 basic with nothing else, but this character is absolutely amazing for supporting the army and breaking their armor down. I mean, can you imagine her against dwarfs? It's just, oh, what we've got on his armor. No, you don't. No, you don't. Oh, well, we've got really good leadership. No, you don't. You really don't. So, let's move on to the last Lord, Malekith. Again, we'll get rid of everything so you can see. Because you see, the cost you can see here is with everything. So, okay. Just to make a point, Malekith, yeah, so he's worth 1,250. He is a spellcaster, armored to the shield, and a melee expert, as you can imagine. He's got a physical resistance of 20%. Missile resistance of 15%. He causes fear, encourage, immune psychology, and of course murderous prowess. So let's go over his mount. He can have a code one for 300, a code one chariot for 400, and Sephiron for 1050, which I know is his actual dragon. I've read enough lore to know about him. He's a beast, and yet so loyal to him. So yeah, 1000. And not only that, you look all those stats, and then look what it adds when he comes in. Madness. But does he gain? Fair enough. So yeah, 1150 for a really powerful dragon. His abilities, he's got the Spiteful Conjunction, which is the same as Monolith, with the every time he's casting. For 18 seconds, it lowers the whole army's armor by -15. He's got the Gaze of Malice, which is a breath attack. Goes along the ground, can aim at anyone within 100 meters, causes magical damage, can disrupt unit formation, short, wide, expand, and tear-shaped attack, strong for multiple units, as you can imagine. And I love the quote there. I should point out, 80 there, 76. If looks could kill, oh wait, it turns out they can, because he just looks in their direction and they burn, which is an amazing idea. And of course you've got your stand your ground for 162. Good old classic. So spells. Then this guy, I believe, does actually follow the law of dark magic. Always a law of dark magic. So he's got 82 for the power of darkness, 88 for chill wind, 158 for the word of pain, 165 for blade wind, 245 for doombolt, and 234 for soul stealer. And then he's got fancy items as well. He's got the supreme spell shield. So it's a constant that always affects him, affects enemy in range, effectively increases proportionate to the number of enemy units in range, decreases to power reserves. I see. Okay then, so it actually affects enemies within, depending on how many people are within range, actually messes their power reserve up. Okay then, so it steals their power. I like it, that could be a massive pain. Circuit of Iron is a constant that affects himself and enemies in range. So it affects their Lord and Hero. I'm just going to raise the mouse to it then. Mat Ride, and it increases the miscast chance by 50%. And that's worth 244. The shield is 238. Yeah, so 244. Again, all his abilities seem to be you can't use spells against him, which is really, really cool. And of course then you got Destroyer, which is a constant. Again, affects enemies in range. Within 40 minutes, 45 plus time to your ability recharge. So all his abilities is stopping you use your magic and abilities. You have to fight him mono a mono, as he uses all his abilities to punch you in the face. So there we go, that is Malekith covered. Let's go through all the heroes. So you've got the Sorcerers of Fire, Shadow and Dark. Yep. So let's get rid of all their abilities so we can see what they're like for cheapest. Alright, let's get that down. I like doing this because it means you can see what they are. So yeah, they're all 300 basic. And you see they're pretty similar. 12 points and 2 points difference between them with the magic. So they're all spellcasters. They all have missile resistance and courage. And I believe they all have the exact same option. So they can have a Dark Seed for 150, a Code one for 350, or a Dark Pegasus for 550. Of course, each one will have slightly different ability. So the Dark Sorceress for 80 can have Spyful Conjunction. So I wonder if that stacks. Because that stacks, you would want a couple Sorcerers of Dark and Monolith and just use that ability and just cast spells and everyone's armor would just disappear. If we go straight over to the Law of Fire, their one is obviously Kindle Flame. So for 88, you can up weakness to fire damage by 22. But that's enemies within range, map wide, yeah. And of course, the Shadows has the Smoke and Mirrors, which when you're casting a spell for 24 seconds, your whole army pretty much, I believe, goes up by 12 speed. That is only 81 gold. But again, it's only speed, isn't it? So let's go over the spells of Dark. So 82 for the Power of Darkness, 88 for Chill Wind, 158 for Word of Pain, 165 for Blind Wind, 245 for Doombolt, and 234 for Soul Stealer, that's right. The items you can have is Dark Star Cloak, which improves the power recharge rate for 79, and that's constant. And the Scroll of Legion for 80, which greatly reduces the enemy's power recharge rate. And it's a target enemy within 100 meters, sorry. So yeah, that's not bad, that one. If we go for this one then, so we've got spells, you've got obviously Fireball for 80, Cascading Fire Cloak for 80, Flaming Sword of Ruin for 158, the Burning Head for 163, Flamestorm for 244, and the Piercing Bolt of Burning for 237. And are they going to be the same? Dark Star Cloak? Yep. And yes, exactly the same as the previous one. So it is pretty much, if the items are the same, yeah, it's just the spells are different for Law Shadow. So 78 for the Mystify Merisma, 82 for the Enfeebling Foe, 155 for the Permendral Pendulum, 160 for Wyvern, 244 for Occam's Mind Razor, and 236 for the Pit of Sage. So as you can see, they're all pretty much very similar, as you can imagine from sorcerers. Yes, so let's go over to the Death Hag. This is someone different. It's anti-infantry, damage dealing, frenzy, and poisoned attacks. They have the missile resistance, encourage, murderous mastery. Okay, so murderous mastery, I assume, is exactly the same as the murderous prowess, but bigger. So 25% charge bonus, 15 points of leadership, 25% melee attack, 30% vigor, and can cause fear. Yes, that's definitely better. Of course, you got frenzy, which is constant until their leadership goes below 50. So weapon damage, charge bonus, melee attack, and immune to Koji. I've forgotten to remove her abilities, which probably narrows her down a bit. Yes, it does. So 700 basic, still quite good just for what she's got there. She can take the Cauldron of Blood for 600, which, let's face it, that's going to be amazing. What does the Cauldron of Blood do? Well, causes terror. It affects allies within 40 minutes, 12% physical resistance, and Fury of Cain. So all allies within 100 meters. Oh, that's just argument. Argument spell, where if you are targeting an ally, they get melee attack plus 26, charge bonus 18%, weapon damage 25%, and rampage, whatever rampage is. But that is really, really good. Then you go to abilities. So you can have Foe Seeker for 80 and Witch Brew for 160. So it affects her. So you can use it 3 times every 90 seconds. It costs 160. And what it does is it raises melee attack by 26 points and weapon damage by 50%. I just realised Rampage. I wonder if that's the same as the Lizardmen. So they go berserk and just do their own thing. If so, that's cool. And Chillblade. It's a hex that's constantly affecting enemies within 40 meters. For 166, everyone around her will lose 5 melee attack and 12% speed. Not so sure about that for 166. I mean, the main reason you're going to have that is the melee attack, because if you're going to be in combat, speed's not an issue. And -5 for 166 is quite steep, in my opinion. And then you got the Potion of Foolhardiness for 77. So, that is that. Now, a really interesting one was the Canite Assassin. He's 926. He has no abilities to mount spare. He is as he is. He's just that brilliant. He's anti-infantry, damage dealer, frenzy, and poisoned attacks. He has a bonus against infantry. He has missile resistance of 15, and he's got murderous mastery and frenzy. So hang on. For some reason I clicked on it and it didn't update. I should have seen that coming. My bad. Scrap everything I just said. So let's get rid of that. So he's 700 basic. Stalk, good against gates. Really? He can just go in and open the gates. That's amazing. Duelist and poisoned attacks. He's got a missile resistance 15. He's immune to Koji. Can fire whilst moving. He has Stalk and Murderous Mastery. So what fins does he have? He has Assassin's Trophy, which is a hex on any enemy within 150 meters. It has to be Lord or Hero. But it lowers their melee defense by 27 and their melee attack by 26, and it costs 78. So that's quite good. Obviously, as an assassin, you want to pick like their generals, and you just do that on them. Black Lotus. So I believe that though is their leadership. See, this confused me the way it's worded. It's an argument spell. It lasts 50 seconds. It targets himself, and it discourages for 10 seconds minus 16 leadership, which is quite interesting. I assume that means that it does their leadership or something like that. It can't know itself's leadership. What would be the point in that? But if someone could comment below, that'd be great to explain what that actually means. Does it mean... Because it says it targets itself and then lowers its leadership by 16. Interesting. But that's 79. But yeah, if you can let me know in the comments what exactly that means, because I don't understand it myself. And Dark Venom for 81... For 36 seconds, his weapon damage goes up by 75%. That's worth it. That and that together, that's what, 150, 160? Not that much. And yet, could do so much damage. So, apologies for the confusion there, where I was talking about the Death Hag and not the Assassin, but there we go. So, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. This is the covering all the Lords and Heroes. In the next episode, I'll be covering all of the Infantry. As you can see, they've got quite a few of them. 12 to be in fact, so that's going to be quite a few. And then the episode afterwards, we'll go over the Cavalry and Chariots. And then the final episode, we'll cover the Monsters and Artillery. So stick around for that. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. And that way you can get updates as all these come out throughout today. And of course, any other crazy battle reports or battles that I come up with and ideas later on. Thank you very much for your time. I hope to see you next time. Till then, take care.